we going to start? We'll start over here on the side. We're going to start off with Team SalaDin. We've got Red Run here playing as the flank. He is the first pick for SalaDin's team, so the second strongest player on his team, playing as the Vikings, with Bonk as the pocket Khmer. And he is, I believe, the second last pick. So we've got the second best and the second weakest, which means on the other side we have SalaDin as the pocket supporting Char, who's the middle player. So reasonable skill difference, I think. Oh, I gotta update the scoreboard. Whoops. Team in and Team Shed. Whoopsie daisy. Change map. Then on the other side we have Arcast, who is the first pick for Shed, playing as the Vietnamese, backed up by the Shed himself, playing as the Franks. Then the other pocket is Broad 10 with the Huns, with Frederick Chopin playing as the Incas. Okay, so Incas versus Vikings. I think that's a pretty reasonable matchup. They're both decent Arabia flanks, but they're by no means insane. On the other side, Vietnamese versus Saracens is a huge advantage for Vietnamese because of the extra HP on the archers, and the Saracens don't really have an eco bonus. There's potentially a timing factor where the Saracen player can buy their way up to Castle Age really quick. So you might need to be a little bit worried about a expo timing from the Saracens. But I would hope that Franks plus Vietnamese being two pretty good civs should be able to apply some pressure and try to prevent that. SalaDin is the pocket with Magyars. Magyars versus Franks is, I think, probably the best matchup they could hope for, where they both have an early feudal bonus, and then you've got the extra HP for the Frank Scouts, and then you have forging for the Magyars. Obviously, the Franks do have a better eco bonus, though. Fast gathering berries is very nice, and obviously free horse color is massive, whereas the Magyars just save a little bit of food per scout. So it's a slight advantage for Franks, but it's not the end of the world. And the Khmer pocket versus Huns is, I think, definitely a big advantage for Khmer. The Khmer farming eco, like in mid to late feudal age, is just so insane. You can essentially just shit out scouts from like 2 or 3 stables and just flood the map and kill any units that aren't hiding inside their base, take full map control. Huns can try to do something similar with their faster working stables, but their eco bonus, it falls off after a while. Not getting howls in the early game is pretty good. You know, not having any interruptions to your production, your build creation, all of those nice things. But it's very vanilla these days. Like back in the day, Huns were like the best pocket civ by a huge margin, but that was before Franks got a bunch of buffs. And these days they're just they're decent. They're not crazy, they're just decent. Why are Huns picked before Khmer? I would say that there's 2 main reasons why you would think of that. The Hun team bonus, helping out the Frank player, helping out the best pocket civ, so they can make their scouts faster. And then additionally, the fact that you have Paladin for Imperial Age, right? Khmer can't do Paladin. They're either stuck making Cavalier and Hussar, or they make an Elephant switch, which is really expensive and really slow. So there is a timing window where Khmer are really strong, which is like the end of Feudal Age, early to mid-Castle Age. But then once you get past early Imp and Paladin comes in, Huns all of a sudden jump up in power. Hey Travis, how's it going? The Huns house bonus is best in feudal to castle. The time where everyone gets housed a couple times. Yep, exactly. But then not having houses is a negative, as Humble Pie is saying, right? You can't house wall, so it makes it that much harder to fully wall your base because you can't just be naturally slowly building houses throughout feudal age, right? Late game with trade and Ellie Khmer OP. True. So yeah, there's definitely timing windows, but I think overall Khmer is the stronger civ. It's just potentially a little bit tricky to use sometimes. We see most of the players are on the way up. We've got 18 and a bunch of 19 pops. 18, 18, 18, 18. Okay, Shed's team is full 18 pop. There's a reasonable amount of idle time each, but Bonk, though, is the Khmer. That's a bit unfortunate. Almost a full build behind at this point. Hun walls should get +2 line of sight to make them at least a little more viable. I mean, does line of sight really help when you're just getting attacked? by scouts and archers, and they just break in. I don't think that's the issue. Let's look at the building placements of the flanks as they start to get up, because it's something that I've been criticizing quite a bit of the previous games, where they had their archery ranges and base construction in really weird positions, and then losing some points for that. I'm not a huge fan of two archery ranges separated like this, because if you set your gather point, for instance, inside your walls, but up to this top left side, because that's where the enemy is attacking, these archers will jump out outside your wall. If you set your gather point to the top right because you need to go help your pocket, these archers might hop out outside your walls, and then it's just a huge mess trying to regroup. Vikings, they've got a similar issue, but it's not as bad, I think, because it's all out in one direction. You're always going to be ungarrisoning backwards, probably, but dropping to the south side might be an issue. Overall, though, defending the wood line, I don't like that house. That house should be down here. You want to wall this to the edge to secure your gold ASAP. For the other flank, I love these ranges. Getting that wall off between the wood lines, securing their gold somewhat. Oh, yoinking 2 sheep is huge. That right archery range can't go inside because of the barracks. Only if they ungarrison right to the top, right? If they get out of the top corner, they might be able to. But if they get out of any of the other 3 corners, then yeah, they're probably fucked. Where did those sheep go? Did the sheep die, potentially? It looks like they may have died, so Char is going to have a very, very rough feudal age. Not having a ton of food eco, and then also not going to berries just yet. You can't ungarrison from the top? Oh, okay, well, yeah, that's a very bad sign there. I don't like this from our cast. You should be walling in front of your resources so that you can take them safely. If you build a mill on these berries, archers can just walk up and kill your vills. I don't mind the wall to this side, but I would probably be building adjacent to this barracks and walling to the stone, and then go from the stone to the wood line. It's maybe a little bit more walling, but it does protect your berries, which I think is very, very important. Building has 7 points where you can ungarrison. The midpoints are the sides, and the front 3 corners. You can't get out of the top. I did not know that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I didn't know that you couldn't use the top corner. That's actually quite a big deal in some situations. Okay, we're seeing the first real engagement of the game over here on the side. We've got quite a significant lead for blue and green here. They are pushing uphill, though. But I think that they should be able to take this. Oh, that is a bad patrol there from red. And blue now has a massive archer advantage. 10 versus 2. This side is basically dead. Already. Oh, there's even a hole next to that archery range. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, if blue and green are just able to keep up the pressure, red should just die. You come straight over here, you deny the berries, you get around the back, you hit the gold, you hit the wood. They went 18 pop-up but are camping at home. This side, they're camping at home. But this side, they're not. This side, they're being aggressive, and I love it. They're doing a really great job here. Also, notice, both of the pockets are almost fully walled already. Like, Shed's got multiple villages walling. I think that's probably a little bit excessive, but maybe they're just worried about some sneaky attacks, some players swinging from one side to the other. But over here, like, red is just... Oh, even like getting like 3 pickoffs on like that damage on those scouts, killing a couple of vills here, denying the berries just absolutely prevents them from getting castle age at any sort of a decent time. We see yellow committing to a big, big wall, and yellow also built a barracks. Why would you build a barracks as Khmer? This isn't like any other map where you might want to have... Oh, he's building a tower on the gold, rotting it up as the chat is saying. You don't need to make spearmen as pocket most of the time, right? You might make 1 or 2 of them to defend your walling bills, but building a barracks as Khmer is just a waste of resources. Our cast is already building a market with 0 farms and only 3 villages on food at the moment. I think that's not the best idea. I can't imagine that he's able to buy his way up the castle age with only 23 villages and 4 minutes of idle TC time already. Yeah, our cast is not having the best game. I completely understand if they decide to just sit at home at this point, because He's very far behind, but the other side should be super far. Oh, but Green, what are you doing? Oh, I guess Yellow's taken the fight before he had armor. But if he had had armor there, I think half of these archers would be dead. And then all of a sudden, Red has a chance to get back to this game. Yeah, I think that was a very poor engagement. You should be waiting for armor at this stage. Green has already got armor as well. Green and Teal both have armor. And Shed has even done the attack upgrade already. So Shed is putting on a bit of a masterclass in terms of getting his upgrades at the correct times. And here they go. They're just pulling away. They're going to the pocket and forcing these two players to chase them around the map. Might want to have Khmer 2 hours later. We're still going back to talking about which is better between Huns and Khmer. I don't think it really matters at this stage, because Khmer, I think, needs to commit to a second stable at this point. Okay, but we're seeing all the players team up here, right? We've got a full rainbow going on outside SalaDin's base. SalaDin being the captain. You know, it is Team SalaDin. Two-handers in reference to the early barracks. Okay. I don't know why they're attacking the stable instead of a palisade wall. That many archers and that many scouts, you could have just instantly killed one of those walls and gotten in here and killed these villagers. I guess they're trying to just bait the fight. And with only one player's worth of archers, Red's falling far behind. I think SalaDin's team should clean this up, but they're going to take massive losses while this goes on. And we see here that Shed is already up to Castle Age, and SalaDin has zero food, basically. And he is still building this tower, which I guess makes a lot of sense. He's already started it, and it'll help get some extra damage in here to clean up the last of the units. Welcome to AusDraft, Mr. SalaDin. The whole team is here to say hi. Yep, exactly. And now we see it. They've actually got a very large Vil lead as well. Most of which is down to Arcast having 5 minutes of idle time, which is just an insane amount for this stage of the game. He is up to Castle Age, though, with only 2 farms and hardly even eating his berries. I do not like this idea in the slightest. I think that this is potentially suicidal. I mean, they've bought themselves a lot of time dragging the army back to SalaDin's base. So now if they want to counterattack, you know, they're still not even at Grey's base at this stage. Over on the other side, you've got a similar issue, right? Where Red and Yellow, they're trying to leg it back this way. But all 4 players on SalaDin's team are well up to Castle Age. Everybody except for SalaDin is up as well. SalaDin, it looks like he's using the market a little bit, trying to get himself up, but he's not even clicking. And Shed is already in Castle Age, getting +2 armor, getting that night production going. He's got 2 stables, he's dropping a market, he's dropping a second TC. I would expect a third TC either on this gold or maybe the back gold pretty soon. And unfortunately, SalaDin doesn't have a massive scout mass to justify being up later, right? It's mostly just the damage that he took force. Oh no! Oh, that is a little bit of a Titanic having a hole there. There is a spearman here to defend. If these archers have to leg it straight over there, though. Because these are Mega Scouts with bloodlines and attack and armor. They got all the upgrades, they got all the trimmings. One spearman is not going to be enough to kill them or force them away at all. They're just going to keep roaming around getting some kills, but the knights from Shed are coming in to try to save him. But the problem is that by opening the hole, you give them an opportunity to escape as well at the same time. And then these scouts, they're also having the lovely benefit of just buying time for Char. Because their army are busy chasing 5 scouts, allowing Char to get to Castle Age and avoiding a Castle Age crossbow spike. Right, they did finish that wall at the bottom though, I like that. Making sure they can't run out that way. Over on the other side, we've got, what, 26 almost equal crossbow numbers, if we're being honest. Knight-wise, they're honestly pretty equal as well, but green is instantly going up. That's a very far away spearman, SalaDin. What's that doing over there? Instantly going up to 3 TCs. Whereas the Khmer player, Bonk, is only on the 1. Mihai, thank you for the raid, man. How is it going? What is rodding? Rodding is when you build a defensive tower on your gold very early in the game. So, for instance, SalaDin has this tower. And red also built this tower on his gold. It's a bit of a silly inside joke in the Oz community. Ballistics-wise, nobody is researching it just yet, except for red. Okay, red rum is the only one that has ballistics. Blue has it on the way now, so they're going to match themselves pretty well here. We've got a third range as well for Frederick. AoE 3 soundtrack in the background? Yeah, it is. I think it's probably the best soundtrack out of all of the AoE games. It has the sickest music. I wonder if this overchopped. SalaDin's lost a couple more vills, so it's quite possible that 1 or 2 vills died on this woodline that I didn't notice. Going for a second TC, he's got 3 stables. But especially because he had to build this tower, it really slows down your TC production. And then also he had to buy stone, and he had to buy his way up to Castle Age. So his eco is a little bit of a mess here. And we're seeing Shed getting out to a solid lead. He's 7 mils ahead. Pretty soon there's going to be 10 or 15. I don't think that Fred should be taking this engagement though. Red is sitting on a hill. Red runs on a hill. His crossbows are just going to be better, just straight up. It looks like there's also slightly more knights here for yellow. It seems that green has lost quite a few to the crossbows. Probably needs to either back up towards the hill or back towards the ranges so that reinforcements can get involved in this fight. But once they're off the hill, I guess it's equal. Incas versus Vikings, they're basically the same. For the other side, and this is what I was saying earlier about not walling deep in front of your berries. These 2 villages, yeah, they're just dead. Cha-Cha does have the ballistics. So a couple of villas there, again, denying some food eco. And Arcast's idle time is just absolutely crazy at this point. Broad also has a lot, but when you have 3 TCs, it makes far more sense to idle a little bit. You know, because sometimes you just need to make knights instead of vills. And you've got so many TCs that your idle time just triples instead of going up, you know, 1 by 1. The knight production is lacking a little bit, but he does have the vill lead over Bonk. Bonk's only just now adding the second TC. I think the Broad probably was a little bit too greedy, going for straight 3 TCs. Maybe just the 2 TCs, get production going, and once your eco is a bit stronger, then get the TC. New to this tournament, I believe? Possibly? I think it might have come around from some of the internal Oz practice games, fun games, and casual games. Wow, okay. Oh, I forgot about Saracens. Right, these Saracen crossbows, he's just lost all 3 of his archery ranges. I think Arcast is just dead. It's from a practice set? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I guess these knights are going to have to bail him out really hard. Shed has to go full carry mode on this side, because Arcast has no crossbow production. He also has no vill production, because he's got 3 villagers on farms. Okay, he's got 1 vill in queue now. Okay, the knights are going to clean this up. But Arcast is just completely out of this game. Cha-Cha and SalaDin should be just like, chilling, right? We just stay here. We mass. Once you've got 20 or 30 crossbows, we then go again. Yeah, we see this dropping a bunch of ranges all of a sudden. Just trying to get that army production going ASAP. That Spearman is still attacking that market. Over on the other side, more ranges being dropped from Frederick. Red Drum is still only on the 3 TCs. Still only on the 1... Sorry, 3 ranges. Still only on the 1 TC as well. So we're seeing a little bit more of a eco priority from Shed's team, other than Arcast. But then, because they've got that little bit more eco, they're also transitioning into army a little bit faster, it seems. Let's just snooze this ad real quick. For a little bit, and hopefully this game progresses a little bit more. That must have been an accidental delete, surely. I would assume not, because they have Saracen crossbows, right? Let's just, like, super fast forward. No, yeah, see, it's just Saracen crossbows plus a couple of knights. Just absolutely killing. We'll get rid of that. This is the main reason why you can't ever really have Hindu, Gajara, Sarah Pocket, and Arabia, right? If the flank gets minced? Yes. Well, yes and no. If you want to have a camel pocket, you probably want to have them behind a very, very strong flank player. So that... Oh, in from Red Rum. Ooh, that's a good shout. Because you would trust that the strong flank is not going to just fall over and die. In which case, your camels are always supported by crossbows. And we're seeing they're essentially just base trading each other, trying to kill as many vills as possible, but Shed has 30 plus vill lead already to begin with, so he can afford to lose 5 or 10 vills. SalaDin cannot. Alright, and you can even see the KT is massively in Shed's favor. Over for the other side though, as Redron is up to Imp, Blue is no way near going Imp, honestly. It's still only in the 1 TC though, which is a little bit strange. Okay, we're gonna see a big fight. The numbers are close. Blue is not on a hill, Red is a little bit on a hill. But any fight is, I think, good here. You kill as many of Red's crossbows as soon as he hits Imp. Green is not using his knights very effective though, is the big issue. He's just sort of sitting there and fighting the knights. He's not trying to block them or tank for the crossbows in any way. And Red's got a huge crossbow advantage at this point, right? The knights get in front, they do the tanking. And I think Red's in a very, very strong position on this side. There's some more knight reinforcements coming in from behind, but Blue's got essentially, you know, half the number of crossbows, and we're about to see a massive upgrade advantage. Because Castle Age Knights versus Chemistry and Bracer, they can't really ever fight that. Yeah, and the remains of those crossbows are about to get cleaned up by the knights, and then now you've got 40 crossbows walking into your base. Where are these villages and crossbows going? I'm not sure. Bonk is now adding in a 4th TC. What's his village account? 81 villas. Okay, he's actually caught up really well. He's only a little bit behind Brod, and Brod had the TCs significantly earlier. Bonk has been playing this game, honestly, pretty well. I guess it also makes sense if you know that your flank is going to go for a fast imp. You know, slow down your eco a little bit, make sure that you have big army numbers to protect them. And then, once they have their Imperial Age power spike, then you can slow down a little bit, get your boom rolling. They are 30 vills behind Shed's team, but they've got like a solid 50 army advantage right now. Shed is continuing to try to raid SalaDin, but at the same time, honestly, this many crossbows can just walk up to the TC and just delete it, I think. Yeah, SalaDin is really not looking good. As a captain, you don't really want to be the bottom scorer on your team. They're essentially traded SalaDin for Arcast, which is probably a pretty good trade, to be honest, for Shed's team. Shed is on the way up to Imp, though, but he's going to have to, like, full swing to this side, I think. Oh, that castle was never, ever, ever going to go up. Yeah, these Arbs are just killing everything that comes near them at this point. I think Blue just needs to, yeah, just back up, keep as many villas alive as possible, and everybody just needs to hold on as hard as they can until Shed gets to Imperial Age. But the issue is that Shed has to go save 2 players right now. Both of the flanks. Oh, that's a nice mangonel shot. That was pretty decent. Shed needs to, like, hard save Grey, or else Grey's out of the game forever. And he needs to hard save Green, or Green and Blue are out of the game. So even though SalaDin is, like, completely dead, I think his team has actually got a very, very large advantage here. You're on the verge of 3 players dying, and only 1 player being alive for Shed. SalaDin is always a distract, though. Can never leave him alone and can't count him out. So, I guess that does make sense. And like as a pocket, you've got 2 TCs, so you can always reboom back into it a little bit faster than the flank who's had 1 TC and basically no farms for the whole game. But yeah, like Shed has to deal with this army outside his base before he can swing to the other side and save them. And Blue's just full on migrating to the back of the map. The Arbs are... they're just all over the place. Redron has also added in an additional TC, which I really like the idea. Oh, not patrolling though. Green didn't take the best engagement, but he is getting a bunch of free kills and a bunch of free damage. But these Arbs are still going to kill a lot of these knights right here. And we see that Shed is coming past, and that's because Yellow has just dived into his eco right here. Just killing this TC all together. Shed's army is busy at the back dealing with Orange. Red is going to lose those Arbs, but he's got more of them over on the other side. They just need to group up together. They're all in small little groups of 4 or 5, which is just easy fodder for a bunch of knights. You need a big bunch. You need all 30 of them together, and then they are a scary force. Arcast, he's got a couple of crossbows left over, but he's still not really in the game, let's be honest. I love this castle from Red Rum. Getting a forward position, some forward archery ranges would also be lovely. I think Blue needs to delete this castle and just build it somewhere to protect Eco. And honestly, you need to protect Green's ecos. Like, I'll be building a castle somewhere here. Defend some farms, defend some wood lines, defends the back of the trade for if you get to the super late game. I hear the music, it's GG. Oh, and they are calling the GG. And look at this. What is Grey thinking trying to build a TC down here? That is a very, very ballsy attempt at rebooing. You lost your points again? Oh yeah, let me redeem that. Team SalaDin. That was impressive play. I feel like there wasn't a lot going on early in the game for SalaDin's team. Right, Red was definitely in a pretty poor position, but then they didn't utilize the advantage that they had. Blue and Green, I think, should have been far more aggressive at either continuing to deny the berries from Red Rum, because if he doesn't have his berries, he's not ever really getting up to Castle Age. Or they needed to be hitting their pocket. They came over here to join up and have all four armies attacking SalaDin, but they traded all of their army for that, and then the enemy team was unable to utilize their faster Castle Ages. Because overall, Blue, Green, Teal were all up to Castle first. But then they'd lost so much army and so much map control that they couldn't really do anything right there. SalaDin team saved by the power of the rod. True. Yep, two defensive towers did keep them in the game. Oh, we'll skip outside and we'll take a look at the civs that were used and the winners and the losers. So we've got a win and a win and a win, and then they used Saracens instead of Italians. Now for Shed, we've got a loss. A loss. They did not use Dravidians. They used Vietnamese, and they used Incas. Which means Dravidians are potentially a BF flank. I guess it does give them an extra BVC civ and an extra SO civ, but they don't get siege engineers. I don't love Dravidians for any of these maps. Is that a new captain's mode feature? The numbers and stuff? It's been around for 6 months, maybe? Nobody below 1800 should be attempting 18 pop flank. It really depends on how much you practice it, because I think the build order itself is not that difficult. It's just the follow-up, you know. After minute 15 is when the eco difference really starts to become obvious, if that makes sense. I'm really getting the vibe Robo doesn't rate Dravidians unless the map involves a dock. No, on the contrary. I would have loved Dravidians for Arabia. Yes, the dock bonus is completely useless on Arabia, but the 200 extra wood on Age Up makes any aggressive strategy so much easier, right? You can do 18 pop, and you can absolutely bugger it, but as long as you're clicking up on time, you will always be able to afford your two ranges, right? And because you can afford to gather 200 less wood, essentially, you have so much more food, you should almost never be idling your TC, at least like early feudal. So you should be able to comfortably get fletching at the correct timing. You should be able to comfortably make your first 8 to 10 archers and be in their face trying to get a good position. Like, I can understand Dravidians being strong for BF, because they've got a pretty decent tech tree, pretty tanky and strong units. And I guess if you have a pond-heavy BF map, then having Dravidians has the potential to be incredibly strong. But you're not guaranteed ponds on BF, right? You could quite conceivably, I think you got a 10% chance of having a map with 0 ponds, and then you've got another 10% chance that you've got a map with only 1 pond. So, in 1/5 of the games, the dock bonus is essentially nothing. And even if with only 2 ponds, right, you're getting what, 3, 4, 5. You're getting between 4 and 6 houses for free across your team, which is okay. It's a nice bonus, but Japanese have the same bonus for free essentially, right? They've got weaker units slightly, but they've got a better timing push potentially. They've got better monks. They've obviously got really great towers and trebs and helbs. It's like the difference between Dravidians and Japanese on flank on BF is essentially nothing in my opinion. I guess Japanese have to go to front line if Dravidians are going to BF, so we need to make that change. It's just the amount of pop times 100 for your rating. If you're 2k2, you do 22 pop. I mean, whew, I can't disagree with the logic there. Forever Hype is consistent streamer. I mean, consistent tournament games encourages me to stream. I need to turn off starting soon. We're well and truly started by this point. How are you doing, Liticor? How is the upcoming AoE4 tournament going? Let's just back out of the game so that I'm ready for when the next one starts. Team Shed, let's go. I mean, also, by the way, so far every single match that has been played has been a 2-1 result. So we've got a lot riding here on Shed not being the team to let us down, right, and lose 2-0. At a minimum, they have to win BF here. And then the last game, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But they have to make it a 2-1 to keep up consistency within the Oz New Zealand community. Predictions? I paid out the predictions already for the last one. And they've still only got 7 players in the lobby right now. So they're not very close to starting. So we'll wait a little bit before they get ready to go. Black Forest home map, oh no. that's a very quick change of tune there. Like, Shed is definitely a very, very strong BF player. He was in my team for Rage Forest 3. We came second. Team Valessa, let's go. So he's definitely got the BF experience. The question is really, how much practice and experience has the rest of the team gotten? And they have been playing quite a lot of BF team games, just on the ranked ladder, queuing up as a team of 4. So they've been playing quite a bit. What's the number meaning? The numbers are my predictions for which map they will be played on. So you see, like, map 1 is Arabia. I could switch frontline and BF to be, like, the correct order, but I'm just too lazy to do that. So, Magyars, Saracens, Khmer, and Vikings were the 4 winning civs on map 1. And then Franks, Vietnamese, Incas, and Huns lost for Team Shed on Arabia. Some of my predictions were incorrect. So I've changed them, obviously, after the game finished, so that we can adapt our predictions for the future games. Is that a new feature on CM? This has been on Captain's Mode for 6 months or something, I think. Yeah, something like that. Why Celts not in BF? Because you've already got students and Koreans, potentially, as 2 SO civs. You don't necessarily need a 3rd SO civ, and potentially having Spanish trade and conks and paladin is just better for the team, right? You don't really need 3 SO civs. So potentially, if Koreans moved to front line, then Celts could jump into BF. They've got some flexibility there in how they use their civs, but it's by no means a requirement for them. That's new for me. It's an amazing feature. I absolutely love it. Why does Team Shed not have Celts? I have no idea. They picked Slavs when they could have had Celts, and I think the main reason you would pick Slavs is A, their team bonus is kind of nice, having extra houses or military buildings. I was shitting on the Dravidians earlier, but Slavs is so much better because everybody is going to be building 8 to 10 archery ranges, stables, barracks, whatever building of choice they're going to have. So they've got a very strong team bonus. They've got a very good farm bonus for themselves, and they have a much more flexible tech tree, right? They can do insane helbs or champions with Drazinia. They've got Boyars, which is an absolutely cracked cav unit against other melee units. They've obviously got good SO and Siege Rams and Heavy Scorpions. They've got cheap castles if you need to get out and secure bits of the map, do forward castle drops, things like that. They've got really good monks, which is Not as relevant, seeing as we know that SalaDin's team does have students. But their tech tree in general is just a lot wider. Whereas the Celts is far more narrowed in on having good infantry and good siege, and that's about it. Right? Their Helbs and Champs are actually worse than Slavs. They're faster, but they do less damage because of the lack of splash damage. Woads are a pretty good unit, but compared to a Boyar, like the Boyar's a hell of a lot better, but a lot more expensive. And then their siege fires faster and has extra HP. So you're trading better siege for a more flexible civ, essentially. Is the way that I see it for Shed. But honestly, he could have picked Slavs and Celts, which I think would have been smarter. I assume that they're not going to use Poles anywhere, and then taking Celts just denies that option from SalaDin. And obviously, it makes them think about which SO civ you're going to pick. Because they've each got, different pros and cons, as I've just pointed out, and you might, want to prioritize one over, or prioritize a certain civ to try to counter one or the other, right? For instance, Koreans with longer range SO and bombard cannons is probably better if you're against Celts, because you just want to snipe their siege as quickly as possible. Whereas against Slavs, you probably want more ranged units to try to counter the Boyars, would be my guess. Celts is the last pick. It was the second last pick. Chinese was the final pick for Shed. Will we see Dravidian Ellie Archers or just SO as well? Honestly, it could be anything. We could be seeing Arbs, Helbs, Ellie Archers, SO, BBC. There's a lot of options. Okay, the game is. Oh nope. The game was starting, but it looks like they're having a restore or a restart, I should say. I guess that they forgot to have shared vision on. Is the Porto team bonus notable with regard to Onager SO research timings? Yes. Yeah, shared. No worries. I guessed that would be the problem. Yeah, and it's a common mistake that happens. But yeah, the Porto team bonus. The Porto team bonus is just good for every map. Let's be honest. Um, it helps for everything, right? Obviously, SO and chemistry are like really long techs, but so is Paladin, for instance. And even just like for crossbow timings and things like War Galley on water maps, which isn't relevant here. Um, if you've got like important text that you want to get in at a good time, it helps out like Berbers getting their unique texts. It would help Persians researching Elite War Elephant if that ever became relevant. So it's a lovely flexible bonus, kind of like the Slav bonus, where it doesn't break the game in any way, but it's just very, very strong on many, many maps. And it's the sort of thing that can just help you in a little bit, in a little way. It's not going to win you the game, but it's going to help you a little bit. Oh, by the way, so because I started, I can see what this is were. Why am I just sitting here being a numpty? Um, okay, so they had Celts, and they had Teutons, and they had Byzantines, and they had Spanish. So they're not using Koreans right here. Koreans are probably going to go to um, what's the word? Frontline. Oh, TP. Thank you for Mr. T Patty gifting a gift to Zane. Thank you very much. Honk honk honk. Yeah, that's right. Get those emotes going. And then for Shed's team, they've got the Dravidians. They have the Lithuanians. And they have the Goths. And they have the Portuguese. Holy crap, I got one of those is correct. Not doing a very good job for my Oh, actually, no, I got two. No, I got somewhere else, didn't I? Slavs, Persians. Okay, I had the two flanks correct. I had both the pockets incorrect. That is sus as hell. Goths and Lithuanian pockets? I hate it. I hate it with a passion. You don't have a good SO civ. Like, yes, Dravidians have SO, but they don't have siege engineers. I guess Portuguese have good bomber cannons, but I hate it with. I really, really, really hate this. And then their frontline civs are Berbers, Persians, and probably Slavs, so they have a late game siege civ. And then for the other team, Cumans plus Koreans plus Burgundians plus Italians, and then they just don't use Bengalis, I guess. The odds at this point are almost better from a dartboard just suggests. I I cannot be blamed if people are just doing silly things. It is not my fault. That must be the first time I see Lith on BF's pocket. Um, I wouldn't say it's the first time because they're obviously a good paladin civ, right? Their paladin have got a bonus, and you're basically guaranteed to get at least 3 relics, and you're probably going to be able to get 4 quite easily on the normal BF because you essentially have almost 1 relic per player. So you're easily going to have your paladin. Lighters are an incredibly strong unit if you've got the gold and the trade to keep up production. And then the 100 extra food is really useful when you're booming, especially if you're fish booming, right? Because it helps you keep the TCs running as you're setting up your docks and your fish trap. The problem is that your other pocket is Goths, and obviously Goths are good with the spam, but after a while they fall off pretty hard because their units are just not pop efficient anymore. Great that the game has so much depth of interpretation for civ strategy. I mean, yes, but there are correct civ strategies and then there are incorrect civ strategies. I mean, yeah, that's. I think this is so sus, and especially since this is a must-win game. I don't see how they can ever win if this game goes past the hour mark. When they have Spanish trade, 2 incredibly good SO civs, and then Byzantines are okay. Right, but the other 3 civs, and especially with Celts as the last pick, is just such insane value. And they are also, by the way, using Celts as their flank civ instead of Spanish, which means that we're potentially going to see some big aggression on the flank. The Celt player does Mananam Trush, and then Castle, and then the Spanish player comes up and Castle Drop Conks is a pretty powerful, option. Why not the Bengalis? Um, I think the Bengalis are probably Game Starter did it. Spec Dashboard hasn't updated. It's not my fault. Oh shit. Okay, I refreshed. It started actually a long time ago. My bad. My apologies. When doth it start? It doth start now. Remember, gets a C minus on polite disagreement feedback with correct versus incorrect. I mean, obviously, I'm playing it up a little bit, to have an engaging and entertaining stream. You know, I'm sure if I sat down in the shed and had a discussion with him, he has perfectly valid reasons for the civs. Okay, let me just go jump into Capture Age. And obviously, he knows his team better than I do. Let's just slow this down a little bit. We'll still fast forward a little bit, but we want to see the early walls without it being. Whoops, let's just normal speed, please. To watch what's happening. But specifically, knowing how your players play impacts what civs you pick. Oh, building a gate is a bad idea. You never build a gate. The gate is just begging to die if your opponent is sending vills to bash. It's got negative armor. It's got so much surface area. It costs so much wood to repair. Gates are horrible. Gates, you never want to do gates. But this, what are you doing, Fred? You, if you're going to not contest the wall until almost the 2-minute mark, you shouldn't be doing loom, because it's not even worth contesting at that point. It's so late in the game. Quickly we'll count the ponds. We've got 2 ponds and 2 ponds. Okay, ponds are all equal. That's nice. I guess Fred can potentially try to get a a nice forward wall up here, secure the gold, the stone, and the boars, which would be pretty nice. Back on this side. Okay, he's given up on attacking the gate. You call the pond in the east corner equal? You mean this one? How is that not equal? Like, it's obviously yellow's pond. It's a little bit hard to get to, but you know, it is a pond, and it's definitely it's a safe pond, right? You're very very hard pressed to lose this. That stone is a little bit inaccessible though. I guess you build a mining camp in there maybe. Do relics need to be accessible? No. That's something that just happens on BF. Where are the ponds? Oh, the relics. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's a single line of trees, right? If you want to get this relic, it's not hard to get to. So, Shed can quite easily get all 4 relics. Oh, what is this? Bonk is bonking with his vills. That's an interesting decision. He's had a lot of idle time already. Over a full villager. And then now he's going back. That doesn't make any sense to me. If you're going to send the vills, commit and send the vills. Oh, any gamble. Shit. I forgot. Prediction. Start a prediction. You get 2 minutes. Let's go. P7 was holding the gate open, that's why. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, I take it all back. I take back the complaints. Very, very valid. You want to make sure that they get out of there. It looks like Frederick... What are you trying to do walling here? You were sending 2 vills and then you didn't get the safe wall with the resources here, and then you lose a villager? Ah. That's a little bit of Titanic. That's really unfortunate. Why Celts flank and Spanish pocket? So my logic would be the Celts have a good eco bonus for the early game, right? Faster wood chopping helps you recover after building the wall. They could potentially just play Man at Arm Trush quite easily. He's about to get housed though. I think, unless he's the house somewhere. Oh, he's got a house behind this gate. Never mind, he's not housed. Yeah, so the Celts can play Man at Arm Trush. They can do, you know, just big wall fighting and then a good eco bonus to recover. And then the Spanish player, you never know what they're going to do. Alright, they could potentially just castle drop conks if there's a really open map and there's a position to do it. Like a castle here, you kill these walls and then you're in. Is pretty hard to defend, right? Whereas they could also just not do that and just go up to a castle age and boom and then go to paladins. There's a very, very nice pain point, essentially, there that you're putting on the enemy team. I don't like that neither of the players is going for the pond, though. I can understand not taking the pond as students, because you've got cheaper farms. But even so, somebody has to take the pond. Okay, yellow's going to go for it, but yellow's going to go very, very late for it. I don't like that in the slightest. Purple is on orange's pond. Ah! Good shout. Good notice. Then why does he have a mill already? I think that mill is a little bit too early if you're already on a pond as well. But I guess that's a relatively minor criticism in my opinion. I like this, to be honest. This gate in front of the other gate keeps this open almost indefinitely. I think that... I don't think I agree with this, with purple taking the pond. Like, it is obviously it's an easier situation for the pocket player to use the pond. But specifically, when you have Byzantines versus Portuguese, I would be wanting to have the Byzantine player take the pond and then fast imp behind it. And then you fast into whatever you want to do, right? You've got students on your team, so you can just do like Monk, Bombard Cannon, Trebs. and then you start to add in helps, because you've got, 40 fish in this pond, you can easily just transition your eco into whatever you want to be doing behind this. Shed, just doing your standard old boom. Market blacksmith. Villager is going for some boars. I like it, I like it. Question is yellow on stone? Yes, yellow is on stone. So we're very quickly going to see the castle drop coming in here. Whereas if the Spanish player is on the flank, you're closer to the wall for the castle drop, but it's a lot harder to just get the FC off, right? Because you've got this fight for the walls, and potentially you're worried about a man-at-arm trush or whatever. There's just all sorts of things that the enemy can do to try to delay you from just FCing and castle dropping yourself. So as the pocket, it's much easier. The issue is that you essentially have two players committing to attack one player. The conks can, spread around the map slowly, but that takes time and distance to cover. Late game Onager cut to the pond in the bottom. Definitely a possibility, which I think is another reason for the flank to use it. Because if the pocket is doing a normal boom, they're probably not making any farms, or hardly any farms, until Imperial Age, right? And if this gets killed at an inopportune time, and then... Oh, we do see man-at-arms coming in from Grey. I don't know how I feel about this. There's no vills coming forwards yet, so the castle's not going to be super duper early. But it's... Sorry, I'll go back to my previous thought. It's much more important, in my opinion, for the pocket player to have a consistent eco. And if the pocket goes for 30 or 40 fish in this pond, and then loses it, while they're trying to make Mass Paladin, and then all of a sudden have no food eco, the game is just over. Whereas there are many situations where you can live with a flank who has no eco, right? And this is part of the reason why I hate building gates and houses as part of your wall, because they just die so much faster. Or there's a possibility they get attacked and die so much faster with many more villagers attacking it and units. Yeah, they're not going to get past this layer of wall though. And yellow should be... Yeah, right. Yellow just shuts this down instantly by building a castle. I would not build the castle right there, though. I would go back a tile. Because you don't want to lose any villagers to this tower. Right, because like, any villagers across that top side, any villagers down that bottom side, are in range of this tower. Right, like, if Grey just instantly garrisons this, he could potentially kill a villager or two here. Why is Bonk doing his own man-at-arms? Because this is open, remember? Like, this gate here, this is holding it open. These man-at-arms can just walk in whenever they want to. Although, I guess this is going to get cleaned up, and hopefully a villager comes over here to defend it. And look at that, a villager died. It's only one vill, but he did lose a villager there. And then he's laming his flank from building farms next to his mill. AoE1 music hits different? Oh, we've gone all the way around the place, so we're back to AoE1. Nice. Yeah, I think Grey was just a little bit too late up to Castle Age to, technology. Up to Feudal Age, sorry. Yeah, 1230 is just incredibly late for a man-at-arm push. I think if he wanted to do that, he should not have committed to the walls at all. But maybe he decided to do this because he didn't get the walls. I guess that does make sense. I like this, building towers to try to defend this. But this side is just open, remember? And like the man-at-arms are here to keep this open. Like these conks, they just need to run around this side and join up with the man-at-arms, and then they're in. Red Rum, come on, come around here. Come around here. Oh, come on. Come on, boys, you can do it. I believe. I have the faith. Oh my god. There's an unused pond. And you're Goths. One of the most food-heavy civs in the game, and you're not using a pond. And it's your home map. Ah. Oh, I like this from Shed, though. He's worried about the conks, and oh boy, yep, the conks are in. This is a tragedy, yep. If you're going to pick BF as your home map, I would expect you to make sure that everybody on your team has at least a minimal understanding of even just doing one dock and like 5 or 6 fish. It's still better than nothing. I guess SalaDin's not really using his pond very well either. And he's only got 2 TCs. And Yellow's just slowly using the pond, but that's understandable, right? Red Rum's made the castle, and he's making conks, and he's just going to run around and kill everybody at this point. I guess this side is closed, but you can always just add in 2 petards. And then the conks also deny this pond from Grey. So SalaDin's team is in an amazing position right here. Yeah, I think that... Oh, and just the big walls. Char Char is just layering those walls in. Oh boy. I'm not sure if that's the best idea, because I think Portuguese is definitely a better civ than Byzantine's late. But when you know that the other side is just going to absolutely destroy like this, it's not really that relevant that you know, win. You just need to slowly die on your side. I like this from both Fred and Shed. A nice bit of rhyme there. Doing multiple layers of walls so that they can't get wrecked by 2 petards, as I was suggesting. And we actually do see the petards on the way here from Red Run. Oh. Okay, good. He did delete them, but he still lost a bunch of wood trying to build those. Okay, SalaDin's only had a minute of idle time, which is not horrible. But at this stage of the game, a really good player can be almost at 100 pop with a fish boom. I guess in his defense, the pond is really far away, so it makes it a bit harder to use. But only being at 70 pop at minute 22 it hurts me a little bit when you're fish booming. Right, and like you see that with green, like just straight TC booming is just so much more inefficient than a dock boom. What's the weird dock mod? It's improved docks by AnHK, I believe. It just makes them shorter. I know it's just this ugly rock with the shipwreck on it, but it's shorter so you can see around the backside, and it's much easier to place these fish traps on the top side. 15 man-at-arms into supplies. Are they just gonna kill his TC? Oh, that's a nice castle. Grey also has a demo. Where did the conks go? The conks are back here. I love this. And like, Grey has no chance of stopping this. Like, he would need 5 or 6 monks. Dock for Fishboom is the name. Ah, okay, makes sense. Yeah, something along those lines. If you just look for any mod by AnHK as the author, it should show up. Oh, and everyone's okay. Getting the loom now. That's probably why that villager died so quickly when he was building the castle. But this TC is going to get deleted pretty soon. And Shed has also walled out his flank, doing the team thing and protecting himself so that he can try to carry later in the game. But the army difference is just kind of crazy. And yeah, I'm just going to walk onto the CC and kill it. And oh, you have 2 scorpions? I don't care, I have conks, they're just going to walk over and kill you. Just, yeah, I would just like right-click the 2 scorpions and then run away, and then have the man-at-arms kill the TC, because that's just funny. I think having man-at-arms kill a TC would just be bloody hilarious. Okay, we see Imperial Age on the way for 2 of the pockets, and only for SalaDin. Char Char is honestly quite a bit further away from Imp than I would like to see. Seeing as you are Byzantines, it's much cheaper to get up. I would be expecting some sort of a fast Imp to be on the cards. Oh, and we do see shit Xing down here. That's either to build a market, or to Onager cut this way. It's one of the 2 ideas. Why haven't you won yet? I mean, I'm not playing, so I can't win, unfortunately. At least I'm not playing in this game specifically. Surely to get him Relic? Ah, true. But, I mean, I think that's just lazy, having him make a monk and waste 100 gold to do it. I mean, maybe that's just me being too critical, but my assumption would be that you could just send a monk and go get it, right? Just win, bro. Okay, my bad, my bad. Yeah, I think the biggest issue right here for SalaDin is that he's the only player on the way up to Imp. Okay, I take that back. Char is now on the way up to Imp, but you've got two players on one side in Imp versus both of the pockets. Captain's orders. It's half the walk time though. That's a huge distance. I guess that's true. That is true. I mean, I probably would have just like sent my first monk to go get the furthest away relic, and then make a second monk and get the closer ones. But not a big deal, I think. Oh, that's a lot of petards. But 6 petards, 4 layers of wall, the math just does not add up. Red Rum's also imp? Oh, shit. Yeah, but Red Rum's got no eco. Yeah, no eco. Red Rum's only really able to continue making conks, and probably a trebuchet just to clean up the last of Arcar space. Oh, he tried so hard. Oh, that's unfortunate. I think all of these men-at-arms is funny, but I think it might actually kill them. Because, like, the first 4 men-at-arms were really good to secure this wall, or deny the wall, sorry. But then, all of these follow-up men-at-arms just achieve absolutely nothing. Imagine those resources invested into 4 TCs. You know, Red could have been castle 4 or 5 minutes earlier easily, and be up to, you know, 60 or 70 vills by this stage, and be close to getting back into the game. Whereas instead, these longswords are just going to die to Lightus at some point. I think the biggest issue... Why are you building a stable? And why are you... Okay, I guess Helms makes sense, but just Champ Onager is going to be a little bit dangerous. I was going to say that I think Shed's best win condition right now is Onager cutting, you know, through here or something, and then having green spam Huskulls into everybody's eco. I think that would be the best way to win this. Is this castle going to go up? It shouldn't. If SalaDin clicks the correct villages with his Onager, yep, that castle is denied now. Purple is in Imp. Getting chemistry. Could be making some trebs. You've got a castle, Char. Make some trebs, please. More longswords than bills. I mean, it's close. Oh, demo, go, delete. I heard the explosion. Oh, there's only 3. That could have been so much more. It could have been so much more. It could have been so much more. Just right there, press delete. Press delete right here, and you probably kill 10 or 15 longswords and deal a ton of splash damage. Oh, that is disappointing in the extreme. That makes me very sad, if I'm being honest. In this case, the longswords are going to come in handy against all these helps, but the Lightus are the scary unit of the helps. Well, the helps are also scary, but predominantly the conks. Oh, that's a hole. I think the follow-up here is Red needs to instantly build a uni, get fortified wall, and start spamming out walls. Because this position is going to die, but you know that you just need to hold on because SalaDin is in a good position on the other side. And like, oh, Teutonic champs versus Goths is just kind of a sad engagement for Goths because they had extra melee armor. The longswords lost to Helms. I mean, there was also some Lightus and a lot more. Well, maybe not a lot more, but there were a decent number of Helms there. Okay, Arbs is definitely going to help against the champions. The most annoying thing for me so far... Oh, there's only like a 1-tile gap there, it seems. They need to delete a few walls so they can pass through a bit easier. Is not instantly making a trebuchet or 2. Even just like sitting here and killing this TC and some of these houses and stuff would have been decent value from some early siege when you're able to get that going. Is Shed going to be able to carry this, is the question. He's got some Lightus down here. He's starting to make trade. He's got 1 market up there, which is good. 2 more here. I wouldn't mind building more markets in green space, so there's a bit of a shorter trip. But that's not too important, let's be honest. And then yellow is switching into Helms. I don't like that, but you can't really afford to do Paladin is the problem. So I guess it makes sense. You have to do Helms. Now red's up to Imp, but red only has 70 vills. Yellow's only got 80 vills. So they're definitely behind in eco by 50 vills at this point. The question is just, can they deal enough damage to Fred right here, right now, before Shed is able to clean their army with Lightus? And I'm not sure if they're going to be able to. These Lightus should clean this. I mean, being in the choke point is nice, and I think SalaDin has kind of thrown this by not making more siege, not making more onagers. Just purely making champions is not the ideal unit choice. And then Lightus, just ignoring the extra melee armor that students have, is pretty solid. Oh, that was a decent attack round. That was a decent attack round. And then this castle is going to slowly fall. It is a Byzantine castle, though. It does have all that extra HP. And they've switched their target. They're going for the gate instead of the castle, so they can try to get the Lightus in and try to get the raids going, it looks like. Which I do agree with. And oh, look at this. Just a shit ton of hand cannons coming out from the Portuguese player now. And then all of this infantry that you have is completely useless. I mean, you're starting to tech SO now, but, you've got a 2-minute wait before that's useful. You don't really have any massive onagers at this point to be able to use them instantly. Being in a choke is nice. 2 seconds later, the bomber can arrive. Yeah, yeah, exactly. The timing was exquisite. This is a huge carry effort. I mean, I think that Red threw the game by making 40 longswords, or 40 man-at-arms into 40 longswords, right? Guys, can you slow down the spam a little bit, please? Yeah, like, he could have been castled so much faster. He could have been making villages so much faster and been in the game, right? Imagine if Red had hit him 5 minutes ago and was making his own halbs, but now the game is just over because Red's just essentially defeated. You're making pikemen against fully upgraded Elite Lightus. He does only have 2 relics, though. There's a relic that he has not picked up yet somewhere. I don't know where it is, though. Oh, this one. And then obviously the ones behind the layer of wood. Game 3 hype? I mean, yep, we're going to see Game 3. I think it's confirmed. Oh, we might see some big onager shots. Come on. Come on, SalaDin. I believe you. You can use attack rounds. Oh, another one. Another one. Oh. Oh, perfect. Oh! That was big. That was big. Unfortunately, the Portuguese bomber cannons with 3 ballistics, well, not 3 ballistics, you have to pay for it, but ballistics is... It's pretty nice. It's very hard to out-micro them. They have sort of slowed down the push on this side. I'm not sure why that is. Why is Shed's army just sitting here doing nothing? What are you doing, man? Push! Grey doing okay to die slower, distract times 2 also. Yeah, Grey did a pretty good job, I'll be honest. Unfortunately, they got the infantry. It only fuels their hate the more you kill. Purple's base. Oh shit! How did they get in? I guess they've just run all the way down here. And it looks like SalaDin has not noticed in the slightest. Shed's Eco KD. Look at that. That is just insane. How many Lightus are there? 7? 8? 8 Lightus have killed... Oh, no, there's another one. 9? 10? 10 Lightus have killed 105 villagers. 111. Oh my lord. SalaDin, you've got 25 villagers, man! You got 24! You're gonna get defeated! He's finally noticed. He's noticed. Oh no. The capital D in SalaDin stands for did not notice. He's on D&D and he didn't get any notifications, that's why. Oh. More trade than bills. Yeah, more fish than bills as well. And then... I think that not SalaDin, Shed has done a brilliant job. Broad 10 has also done a great job. Frederick's done a great job. Arcas, he did a great job dying slowly. He doesn't have a ton of... Oh, he's actually got 100 vills. Oh, he's got a bunch of TCs down here, that's nice. And he's switching to Elephant Archers now. Yeah, his whole team has done this really well. And, you know, I hate to be negative, but Bonk has not done a good job. The making of all the Man-at-Arms lost them the game, I think. I think that there was the possibility that the Celt player could defend this if he was at a decent time. Instead, oh, the lighters just continue. Shade's got 220 eco kills at this point. SalaDin's lost 100 eco by himself. He's got a bunch of villagers in queue. Oh, this just, he can't even make anything at this point. Let's go look at his resources. He's got a bunch of food and a decent amount of gold. Okay, so he can keep making champions for days. Which, champions versus hand cannons, bombard towers, champions, not the call. This strategy, they should have spelt cults in Spanish from pocket to flank. The problem with that is that the Spanish player on flank, like I said this at the time, is you're never going to have a 15-minute castle time into a castle drop as Spanish flank, right? You're either going to have really bad walls, or they're just going to, like, rush you down before you can get to castle age, right? They're going to Man-at-Arm Trush and they're going to get in. They're going to Drush or do some weird shit like that. You're never going to just safely FC with no walls and castle drop them, right? So, I guess it means the Celt player is definitely in the game, but the consequence is that your push is a lot slower, which then means that Grey doesn't die as hard, which means that you're not even really trading a 1-for-1 anymore. Yeah, the first 4 Man-at-Arms were absolutely great. Keeping this open, denying that wall, insane. Absolutely perfect. As soon as he made any more Man-at-Arms, he's only got 1 villager, yeah. As soon as he made a single extra Man-at-Arm beyond that, it was a Titanic of monumental proportion. Like, I want to go back and look at this. Like, about 15-ish. Whereas Bonk's final kill, I honestly don't care. Okay, like, 'cause at this point here, like, right now, Grey is not walled at all, right? Because of this right-angled gate that Bonk has built, which was brilliant. This gate is brilliant, right? If Grey wants to wall, they have to do this big fucking penis-shaped loop around it, right? Just absolutely horrible. You can't do that sort of a wall easily, right? So making a couple of Man-at-Arms to deny them from just killing this and then walling behind it is an insanely good idea. Honestly, I don't think that I would have had that idea, right? This is just great. This is awesome at this point. But he just makes more Man-at-Arms, and I don't know why. Like right here, like, it's still open, right? Like, there's even these like, extra bits of walls here. Like, you could argue that Grey should have been trying to wall this a bit faster, and then maybe the Man-at-Arms would have done nothing. But we can only go with what happened. These 4 Man-at-Arms, they walk out here, they stop this wall, and then the Conks get in. Right? This is just, it's so good. It's such a good strategy. It's so good. I love it. Right? Like, this Stonewall now does not go up because of these Man-at-Arms. Okay, the 5th Man-at-Arm, okay, that's fine. I like the 5th Man-at-Arm. The 6th one, maybe it's okay. Anything more than this is just an overinvestment because these Conks are going to do everything that you need. Now, you're just wasting so many resources. Okay, like, we're up to 10 in the queue already, right? Plus however many have died. Like, if we just count the resources that he's spending on Man-at-Arms, and remember, he's idling his TC to make Man-at-Arms. Why are you idling your TC to make Man-at-Arms that are just going to kill some bloody houses? It's just nonsensical in the extreme. I mean, killing this tower, maybe there is some slight value in that, but 4 Man-at-Arms would have done it just as well as 8. And then all of these extra Man-at-Arms, they're just doing nothing. Like, 60 food by almost 10? He's almost spent the resources to go Castle Age. Just on Man-at-Arms at this point. He could be... Now he gets supplies after making 15 Man-at-Arms. He could be up to Castle right now and booming. And then if he starts dropping TCs, say at minute 23, he has 7 minutes of 3 TC production. He's up to, 70 or 80 vills by minute 30. How many vills is he actually going to have at minute 30? He hasn't even clicked up to Castle Age yet, and it's minute 25. There's people up to Imp, and he hasn't clicked Castle Age. Okay, he's up to Castle Age. He's going to hit Castle Age at close to minute 30 when he could have had 80 vills. Almost. That is frustrating in the extreme. Check the buildings destroyed, though. Who cares? He's killed a lot of houses and some barracks. The conks and this forward castle would have killed them just as well. Okay, let's get back to the end and we'll go actually look at the stats. Military. Buildings. He killed 9 buildings and he lost 33 buildings. What are you talking about? No. Not a fan. Not a fan in the slightest. That was a win. He did not use Dravidians. That goes away. That was a win. That was a win. And... No, he did use Dravidians. What am I saying? And then that was a loss, and a loss, and a loss, and a loss. Can we look at Eco KD? Sure, we can go back to that. Eco KD at the end. Shed with almost 300 to 4. The rest of the team does not matter. Shed did it all. He was in all the ecos, killing all the villagers. 100 vills lost for Bonk. 100 vills lost for SalaDin. 25 for Char Char, and, 60 for Redrum. He did it for the fans of the 3 game sets. I mean... Sure. We'll go with that. He was doing it for the viewers. He did it for the viewers. Okay, let's leave capture age scene. We're not on that anymore. Oh my lord! I honestly that tilts me a little bit as a tournament viewer and a captain and somebody who wants to be competitive. I think T-Patty said earlier. What was it? Let me scroll back to the chat. Oh, I gotta do the prediction as well. Team Shed did win. Sick. Team Patty, who's on my team, said something like, "If I did that, would you bench me?" And probably yes. It's on red. Yes. Yeah, the pockets definitely should have been telling him what to do. Get these filthy casuals out of my game. No. I'm I'm not trying to be rude or insulting, okay? I can understand why making the man-at-arms to kill buildings seems like a good idea. But you've already got man-at-arms, and there's nothing to stop them killing the buildings. You don't need more. It's on red for not telling him to add a 4th barracks. Yeah, if he had more barracks, he would have just killed things faster. Oh, why didn't I think of that? But, okay, yeah, to some degree, the stronger players and the better players on the team should have had more influence over what was going on. But we don't know their comms. For all we know, he didn't say a word and he just started making man-at-arms. I'm not going to look at my allies' barracks randomly to see what's going on. Right? How is the Game 3 map determined? At the end of the draft, there was 1 map left over, which was Arabia, and that was played for the first game. So Game 3 is now going to be SalaDin's home map, which is Frontline. Think of the petard savings, though, with the man-at-arms. For all we know, this is SalaDin's plan from the start. Okay. But yeah, most tournaments tend to use a system like this, where you'll pick some maps and you'll ban some maps, and then there'll be 1 map left over, which is the neutral map, which is then played for Game 1. Because Game 1 should be neutral, and then from there on, you play the map of whoever lost. To essentially give a little bit of a chance to come back and equalize the series by playing the maps that you're practiced and you want to play. Ugh. I think they're close to starting, and honestly, I need to go get a drink and calm down and stop talking about bloody man at arms. So I will be back shortly. Um, just enjoy looking at the Civ draft and entertain yourselves in chat somehow. Okay, I'm calmed down. I had a bit more of a think, and I want to spread the blame a little bit around the team. I think that Red Rum made a little bit of a mistake building the second castle in Arcas space. I think that Arcas had already taken enough damage that the second castle didn't really achieve anything more. In the interest of like improvement and other teams thinking and strategizing and whatnot, there is a not in theory there's no difference between killing 10 villagers or making 10 extra villagers. In theory, right? You either way there's a 10 villager lead to you. But once a player gets below a certain bill count and a certain castle time, they're already out of the game for the foreseeable future. And killing 10 more of their villagers doesn't really kill them anymore because they're already dead. It would be much better for you to have 10 extra villagers and be more alive, more in the game, more able to get to Imperial Age and defend yourself later in the game. Also, men at legs, definitely a good shout. Realistically, it's teammates' fault for not also committing to the man arms. I mean, yeah, that is one interpretation. Also, thank you, Mr. Honky Salmon, for subbing with the Prime. If anybody else does have Amazon Prime and you haven't used the free sub that you get, you can link it with your Twitch account and then sub for free, and then give me free money. So, if you want to stick it to Amazon, you should use those primes if you got them. That's my sellout bit for the stream. Um, there's something else that was said in chat. Yeah, someone was saying that I'm not spreading the rod enough. If somebody wants to make a rod emote that is somehow related to, a tower or something, hit me up. I'm down to get a Robo Rod emote. Hopefully that's not going to have any issues getting through um, Twitch approval. Robo Squad emote? Oh, I could do that. That's a good shout. The problem is that I'm not really planning on streaming squad games. So I'm not sure how much use it would get. Whereas I'm planning on casting many, many Oz related games. I don't know. Not a big deal. Okay, the game is starting. I'm gonna jump in and we're gonna take a look at the spec delay. Going into game 3, front line. This is SalaDin's home map. Do we have any man-at-arms divs? We do. We have Frederick Chopin as the Japanese, as the front player for one of the teams. Definitely a man-at-arms civ. Um, None of the other civs are really what I would consider a man-at-arms civ, unfortunately. So there's a slight chance of man-at-arms, but nothing too extreme in this game. I would think. We're probably not going to see the 30 man-at-arm play once again. They've unleashed Fred. Bulgarians could be a man-at-arms civ, but nobody's playing Bulgarians in this game, unfortunately. Let me go compare this with the civs that we predicted. No Bulgarians, yeah, that makes sense. They've got Cumans and Koreans. Humans, Koreans, Burgundians, and Italians. Okay, as expected. And then they have Berbers, Japanese, Chinese, and Persians. So that means they're using Chinese instead of Slavs. I don't think I like that suggestion, or that change, if I'm being honest. It gives you a more flexible civ, with ARBs, HELBs, they've got decent cav, they've got BBT and CDRAMs, but Slavs give you SO, and Italians are one of those really frustrating civs that are very, very difficult to fight when they've got a lot of Genbos, because they just counter all cav units, right? And then you've also got a Cuman boom going on, so having Slav helves might be useful. The enemy team also has Koreans, so they're going to have SO at some point. So I'm not a massive fan of this. Well, let's just slow this down. Of this decision, if I'm being completely honest. But this is Frontline. This is a map where all the players on each team are lined up from front to back, and we see instantly a villager going forward from Fred and stealing the forward bore from Bonk. That's a bit of a feels bad man. He's also lost some HP on that scout with the TC. There are two real schools of thought for this game, or this map, I should say, which are you put your weakest player on the front, and you tell them do whatever you can to slow down the enemy, and then reboom later in the game, and hopefully the three strong players will carry. The other option is you put a stronger player on the front, thinking you're gonna bully the weak player that you're against, and then our other weak player, or our weak player, as I should say, will instead make eco, boom themselves, and get into the game at a different point, essentially. Play scouts, play archers, play whatever they need. We see Bonk going for a little bit of a counter lane here, killing all the deer. Oh, and he's also going to wall in the lumber camp. I do like that. Oh, forcing the delete of the lumber camp as well. Also, just the deer bodies were being a bit of a pain blocking the positions. Bonk is going to have a bit of a rough time, though, because he is minus a boar. He does still have his deer alive, and there's two more sheep over there that he can get to. Oh, Bonk and Bonk going to get bonks? Quite possibly. He should be able, yeah, that villager should be able to make it back to its CC just fine. I will actually now introduce the players, since I think most of the early laming should be completed. We have Frederick playing as the Persians. Oh my god, words. Playing as the Japanese on the front. Supported by Arcast as the Chinese. Probably going to play archers, I would guess. Followed by Shed playing as the Berbers. I would assume that they're going to do scouts into knights. And then the back player, we have Broad 10 playing as the Persians. Probably going to do some sort of an FC and boom. And then come carry with Castle Age Night Flood or Imperial Age Paladin. For the other team, we have the Bonk, as we've already seen, as the Koreans, getting some laming, being lamed at the same time. Honestly, pretty decent. Not a lot of idle TC time. He's had less idle TC than Fred, so in some ways we would say that he's winning at this stage. You know, very, very minor, but he's in a decent position. Followed by Red Rum as the Italians. Once again, the second player normally plays archers. Then we have the third player, SalaDin, as Cumans. And then the fourth player, Cha-Cha as Burgundians. Isn't Chinese a bit risky as the first bucket? If the lame had continued back here, potentially, they might have killed some of the deer. But most of the time, the flank's job is to not let the pocket get lamed, right? So you would hope that it's not too much damage being dealt. The question mark that I have right here is Cumans in the third position, sorry. I would have expected Cumans to be at the back, doing Cuman Boom into Cuman things, with either Castle Age into Night Flood, or you Feudal Boom into Castle Boom into Night Flood, or you Feudal Boom into Castle Boom into Paladin, or Kipchaks, or anything, right? Cumans at the back made a lot of sense to me, and then you have Burgundians in the third position, playing scouts, getting eco upgrades, and using that eco advantage, eco bonus that you have. Is the pole boom into flood just not worth it? I'm not going to say it's bad, because it's certainly a powerful strategy. The issue is that it's predictable, and if you don't win the game with either the Castle Age Night Flood or the early Imp Cavalier Flood, your units just fall off a cliff in terms of population efficiency, right? When you get to the stage where 3 players are at 200 pop and then the 2 middle guys are, they're behind some amounts, yeah? Having 60 Cavalier that are lacking upgrades, or maybe a little bit more than that. Say you got 70 or maybe even 80 Cavalier that are missing upgrades versus 60 Paladin. Plus whatever other army there is. I think the 60 Paladin, they might not necessarily win the fight straight up, but I think they are much better civ or unit composition to have. Because the Polish Cavalier cannot really fight when there's a lot of archer units around. Right? Just because they're lacking 2 PS armor. Or they're lacking 3 PS armor compared to the Paladin. So they're a lot weaker at raiding, because castles and TCs deal more damage. If a player has 60 arbs wandering around, they're just going to completely destroy them. And then the Paladin are just so much better at fighting basically every single unit. Like, even Helbs, right? Paladin will quite comfortably beat Helbs in similar numbers. Cavalier, they're not going to do that. We see 2 archery rangers coming up for Fred. Okay, so we're going to see 2 players doing archers, and then 1 player doing scouts. And then on the front, Mr. Bonk, the slowest at Fuel Age by a significant margin. He's not on gold, and he's not on stone. I think he needs to be on one or the other. How did that scout go so fast? That was weird. So, okay, now he's going on stone. Yeah, I would expect tower defense to be the play here for the Koreans. I think that just makes a lot of sense. Okay, so it seems that the Cuman player is just going to make scouts, and then maybe add the TC on the way up to Castle Age, would be my assumption. He's going 30 man at arm again, let's go. No, unfortunately not. There's no... Oh. He just deleted a wall, and he's going somewhere with these villagers. I don't know where, though. I wonder what his scouting is like. Oh, there's some archers, and... Okay, so everybody's army is coming along these builds, and he's gonna... Ooh! That is a good tower. Denying the berries from Fred, just like on an Arabia map, essentially stopped him from ever getting up to Castle Age. Well, not ever, but for a very reasonable amount of time, he's not going to get to Castle Age. 1 more wall, quick, so the bills can't bash it down. Oh, but these archers, though. Ugh. Not good. I like the idea, but, I think it's going to be defended here. Yeah, Blue's just rushing up the tower. He's doing the good thing. He understands how to defend the Trush. Both of the towers will probably go up. And I guess that... Yeah, Blue's tower is going to go up, then everything just runs away, and then they just have a bit of a tower war. 1 villager did go down, though. Actually, no, 2? Maybe even 3 villas, actually. Oof, that was quite a lot. I take it back. That actually worked out pretty well. The issue here is just the army difference, right? Because you have 2 players making archers, and Yellow lost a few of his archers there, taking that fight, getting that tower up. They're now in... Oh, there's a militia! Bonk's made a militia. Bonk is bonkin'. Okay. 3 bills and a turkey. Okay, killing the sheep is also kind of useful. And, like... Yeah, Fred can't even afford to make bills. He doesn't have a mill, so he can't make farms. And he's got no access to his berries. So... Oh, and his tower wins. So if he can kill all these villagers, they're so low HP. I guess he's not paying attention to, like, right-click the villas instead of the tower. That's a little bit unfortunate there. Bonk could have Bonk could have been in a really good position there. I'm not a huge fan of this tower. I guess that he's just worried about them pushing through there, but when the back of your base is open, I would I would try to defend that first, rather than the area that is walled. Oh, and there's a bunch of archers that have just walked up there and died. That's a little bit unfortunate. Bonk does not disappoint. He made the one militia, and then it's died somewhere. I don't know where it went, though. Oh, there it is. The militia almost killed a villager. We do have the deep players hitting Castle Age now, getting their TCs up. And SalaDin is going for the Feudal Age TC. I don't think I like this. Tuning into all future Team SalaDin games just to watch Bonk. Exciting player, keen to see what they do next. I mean, he might be the next pro, for all we know. Like, I would love to see that. And this tower, honestly, it's got 7 kills. It's killed 2 vills and 5 other units. That's really bloody good. And, like, these scouts are here to help out now. If he keeps up these repairs and doesn't lose the villagers... And, like, these archers could come sit underneath the tower. That would be nice as well. Come on, tower. Micro the tower. Oh, this has actually gone a lot better than I thought it would do. I'm going to be honest. I thought that the tower was going to get denied when just all the army was congregating there. And Fred has not made a villager for almost 6 minutes. And he has lost 5 villagers in that time. And he still does not have a mill or any ability to make farms. And Fred has a little bit of a reputation within the odds community of not talking about how dead he is. The fact that he's got less than 1,000 score should be an indication, but you know, sometimes you're not looking at the score and you don't notice. But it is possible, not necessarily likely, but it is possible that the rest of his team does not know how dead he is. He's just bought food so that he can keep making bills, but he still hasn't got a mill. He needs a mill so that he can make bills. But then he's got so few villagers on wood that he can't even really afford to do that. Fred is fine. No, Fred is not fine. Fred is dead. Oh, okay, I like that gate. This is something that I do quite like from Shed's team. As a whole, they've done these walls up both sides to prevent any sneak attacks. Oh, there's a little bit of a hole there, unfortunately, but probably not going to be important. There's going to be an overshot here as well. But overall, they can't easily be raided on either side. How did he buy food without a mill? Huh. That's a bloody good question. How did he build a mill if he doesn't have a... What? Mill by green. he milled green. That's why I didn't see it, because it's the same architecture style. This game's great. I love this. Oh, we've got the first farm coming up. Oh, and the towers are continuing around. I don't like that tower position because Fred can just delete the house at some point. But I guess there's the other tower that'll help defend it. And Fred is dead. And the issue here is that Fred is a reasonably high pick for Shed's team. I believe he's the 2nd pick behind Arcast. Let me just quickly tab out and check that. Shed. Yeah, Frederick is his 2nd pick. Whereas Bonk is the lowest pick for SalaDin's team. And he has, not single-handedly, but he has been instrumental in taking him out of the game. The Bonk redemption arc, I mean, it is here. It is here. If this game is won at, like, the 40-minute mark because Fred is not back in the game and Bonk is the MVP. 100%. 100% if that happens. Okay, I didn't realize this, but Char has gone FC Castle Drop and also built a monastery to start picking up relics. I don't mind the monastery. I don't think the Coustiers are necessary. I guess this helps cover for the fact that SalaDin is feudal booming, But Castle Age booming is faster than feudal booming, especially when the feudal boom is delayed by making scouts first. So I think it would have been better for SalaDin to just make more scouts, or to go up to Castle Age himself and make knights, instead of adding these Coustiers, which aren't really doing anything at all at this point. Joshua has a 3-1 KD. Really nothing special at this stage of the game. And even though Shed has quite literally nothing, he's only got 17 bills, his team as a whole is still ahead in the bill count. Simply because you don't have a player big booming. Like, you have a Persian player back here with 4 TCs. The Persian TCs, they work faster. This is essentially, 5 TCs for any other Civ, pumping out villages right now. So the Imperial Age Cavalier or Paladin timing from Brod 10 could be enough to just roll this game, to be honest. Bonk gun get bonked? I hope not. We are here to see the bonk bonk, not get bonks. The Coustier, like, they're getting a little bit of damage, but... Oh, he doesn't even have +2 armor. Like, not having +2 armor is quite difficult if you're fighting any sort of number of ranged units. I think this is a slightly questionable strategy choice right here. So, Fred is continuing to not have a fun time. He's down to 16 bills now. Okay, but here we see, we've got the Imperial Age timing coming in for Brod. Absolutely nobody on this team is anywhere close to going Imperial Age. So I feel like the only way that SalaDin survives the Imperial Age fight that comes up in 5 minutes' time is they need to fully stonewall the map. Immediately. They need to get stonewalls from, like, this wood line, like these wood lines across here to the edge, this wood line to these wood lines, or anything like that. They need a wall to the edge so that they can't get wrecked by Paladin raids and their eco. Bonk is now castle dropping Arcas. He is going for the full bonk to bonk on everybody. It's an okay fight over here, but they're not winning this. Oh, I guess I've got villagers included in this. Let's take this out. Whoops, wrong way. Control? Yep, there we are. Yeah, they're still not winning this fight. But there's just weight of numbers, it seems, for Shed's team. And, like, Shed has been 1 TC, heavy night production as the Berbers right here, just to buy as much time as possible for Brod. And Brod is just going to be absolutely cracked, right? He has more villages than half of the entire enemy team. Which is absolutely insane. And, like, you could argue that the Cuban player should be in a decent spot, but he's only got 70 vills compared to 110. And then now, if Shed is being, really on point, he gets some of his knights, and they just sit out here, and they just deny any sort of walling attempts. Because walls are how they don't win. Okay, Fred is now rebuilding his feudal HTC. He's down to 10 villages. Yeah, a bunch more villages just died there, it seems. Not the best game for Fred, I will be honest. He's back below 1,000 score. But I think Brod should be able to just hard carry this. Honestly, I think that he can 1v4 this at this stage of the game, once he gets his upgrades. Okay, I like this from Fred. He doesn't want to get raided again. He doesn't want to lose any more villages. He's going to commit to the stone walls and secure the back of the base. Fred needs to get back to do some wood chopping. He is wood chopping and stone mining away. We do see a 4th TC coming up. Oh, Shed's getting some big raids in here. Well, I say big raids, he's actually only killed a single villager, so never mind that. Arcast is now... Oh my god, Arcast! What? What in the world? Only 6 villagers? Is he going to get defeated? Oh my god, I didn't even notice that. He's got 3 villagers left. And I think that Shed's team is still going to win when 2 players have a combined vill count of 13. As silly as that sounds, I think that is entirely reasonable and possible and even likely at this stage of the game. How did that happen? I mean, he did get a castle dropped on him, and I guess just not paying attention? I mean, do we want to just jump back a little bit? He has 43 bills at this point. We'll just like super zoomy through this. Okay, he's losing all those woodline. He's losing all those gold bills. Oh, man. In the space of 2 minutes, he goes from 40 bills to 0. That is unfortunate. Right, and now we're back up to real time. That is just... like, you have to run your villages away at some point. When you see that there's all this army here. Okay, now where is Grey's army? Grey is defending a little bit of these raids. Okay, yellow and purple are up to imp. Yellow's only got 1 TC eco though. And is also Italians. I guess they're on stone, so they're gonna add genbos eventually. Okay, now we're starting to see the stone walls, but it's far too late. Right? These Cavalier, they're gonna get in. There's knights on the other side. And... Cumin Helms is really not what you want to be doing. Cumin Helms are just... I mean, they're the best defensive option that they have. Bonk is now going for some nice forward walls. I love that. But... not a good night to be a villager, no. The villagers are dying everywhere. Where are these 3 villagers going? He's sitting here. What resources does he have? He doesn't have enough wood for a lumber camp. Does somebody want to check the rules? I think you can sling... I mean, Brod's an Imperial Age, so it doesn't matter. He can always sling a little bit. The problem is that he's, like, full-on spending to get Cavalier and Paladin. But I believe that you can sling wood and stone if somebody cannot afford a TC. Without Siege, will Grey be able to do enough damage? If they're able to indefinitely deny these walls, yes. Because you just need to sit under these TCs and just deny the eco, right? Because Shed actually doesn't have any eco either. I think that every player on their team needs to stop mining every single gold. Get off the golds. Let Brod take all of the gold possible. Spend whatever gold you have on trade and just start spamming trash to support him. Oh, that is a very lovely wall. That is a good job from Bonk. Yes, they can always just run around, but he's buying time for his team. That is sick. I love it. But I think Shed needs to full-on switch into Lycav spam. Stop spending gold on knights. Spend the gold on trade. Like, honestly, you need to have 2 or 3 players. Castle Age. But they can't sling until they're Imperial Age. Oh, that is rough. That is... Hey, Schlump, how's it going? This is just the messiest game imaginable. Okay, getting the gold farmers is good. Char is nowhere near going imp, and we do only... I guess the Helms are going to defend the Paladin for a while. Not having all the attack upgrades definitely does hurt. You want to be able to kill Helms quickly as possible. Bonk getting it done. I mean, Bonk is certainly doing his bit for the team, and at the same time, he has 70 vills now, right? He's got TCs, he's booming. Bonk is doing a really good job. Can Brod do this? I'm seesawing back and forth between thinking that he's able to win this game and he's not able to win this game. Yeah, I think that Shed needs to full switch into Trade Boom. Build 1 market here. There's a market up there already. Build like the rest of his markets here and have like 4 or 5 markets just spamming trade. And then spend all of his food on Lycav. And then at some point he just clicks up to Imp and then slings all the gold to Brod. I think that's their best chance. Because green and blue are just dead forever. Green still only has 3 vills. Okay, he is chopping wood now. Robo stream? Hell yeah. I will be streaming as many matches from the AusDraft tournament as possible. So far there's been... This is the 6th match, and I've cast 5 of them. For obvious reasons, I'm not going to cast... Oh! Kill! 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 Oh, no. Okay. He has recognized the danger of the situation. Oh, as horrible as it sounds, I wanted to see somebody get defeated. Because that would just be hilarious. If I'm being honest. What was I trying to say? I've completely lost my train of thought there. That was just so intense watching that happen. Watching a knight run past a villager was so intense. Yeah, I was talking about the matches. I've cast 5 out of 6. for obvious reasons, I'm not casting my own matches because I don't want to. Well, A, I'm playing in it, and then I don't want to reveal any information about our drafting and our strategies and strengths and weaknesses and whatnot. Um, GG. Oh, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. If there is interest, I've considered casting my own matches just from Rex, and then I'll upload them to YouTube once the tournament is done. But I don't know if people really care enough to go back and watch the matches, you know, 5 weeks later. If people are interested in that, please let me know, and then I might actually consider doing it. But my assumption is that that's not a very great idea, or a great use of my time, I should say. Oh, um, that was a crazy game. That was a very, very crazy game. I think that if either of Arcast or Fred had somehow not lost all of their eco, they may have had more of a chance. Brod's got a shit ton of food, but not a lot of gold. I guess as the big booming player, he needed to be picking up the relics just for that gold trickle. Because I would assume by this point, Char Char has like 1,000-ish gold gathered. Oh, only 300. She's also only got 2 relics. Why is this relic not picked up? And where's the other one? And there's another one around here. I guess there's the monk holding one somewhere. Ah, that was just the most insane game I've ever seen. Where you have 2 players with 13 villages between them at a reasonably early time of the game. That was well said, yeah. He seems left Meta at the door and brought some new strats. I mean, I'm not sure how new the strategy was for frontline. I think it's just they executed it incredibly well. And Bonk played out of his mind, considering he's the in quotation marks weak player on the team. He yeah, he did a great job that game. He definitely redeemed himself for the mistake on BF, in my opinion. Also, I love the fact that he's doing the team thing. He's getting these walls up, preventing these. Yeah, like I think as soon as these walls get up and like they finish the wall across the middle here, they can't lose the game anymore because Broad is just not going to be able to deal enough eco damage to recover. Yeah, that was whew. That was a game.